Alright everybody, so here we have a Batman Premier format, and what we are going to do is take the cloth off this guy and make him into just, no fabric on this guy. Paint him gray, but he will be painted blue. So let's get that going, and we'll see how it'll look. Alright, so here he is with no fabric. So we're going to cover this gap up, kind of maybe draw in the shorts, cover that part up, and there is a gap right here. So I'll probably fill that in. Of course I was done so the fabric can get in there, so we need to fix that part. Alright, so it looks like, trying to get, I can go ahead and paint through here eventually with the airbrush. This is kind of kind of close to the thigh there, so I might not get a nice paint job right in this area. So what I'm going to do is actually cut this off, so that way this will be, separate, and I can paint this hand and the other hand, nicely. Yeah, this is going to be kind of hard to get in there, make it look nice. So, yeah, I'm going to have to cut that off. I was debating here where to cut it. The plan was to cut it just flush right through here, but, when you put it back together, then you're dealing with this part of the glove trying to, clean the seam up. So what I'm going to do instead is cut right here at the elbow. Well, right around here, and then that way I'll just cut it, and when I put it back it'd be a lot easier to clean this area than right in there. So let's get that going here. About here. Here we go. Okay, so I put this guy together here, and I marked him with a marker, so I can drill some holes in there and put a dowel. So for later on, I put the arm back where it goes. Alright, and here we are with a good old epoxy sculpt. Equal amounts as always, A and B. And you mix them up all together. And we'll start adding some stuff and cover up some things here and here, and maybe a little bit here, just to give the trouser look. Using a brush to blend it in, and fingers as well. Alright, so now let's create the lining of the briefs. Let's see here. Alright, we got kind of like a where the seam goes, I guess. Just smoothing it out again with water. Alright, now let's take care of this big ass gap in here. Alright, so here we close the gap, and looks pretty good. what we're going to do now is do the same thing. Whoops. Right in here a bit. Well, just a little bit in here and also here. It's too much of a gap in there. Okay, so here he is, puttied up, whatever needed to be puttied up. And tomorrow I will primer him up, and the primer will allow me to see some flaws and whatnot, and then we'll figure those out, and then maybe get him ready to paint. Alright guys, so now by primering I can see certain flaws, and then we'll just take care of that with putty. Alright, so now we're just going to add some modeling putty just to fix certain areas. Alright, I'm not sure how the camera is reading this, but this is a color test for the client. I'll be sending him a picture of this and see if he approves. Alright, so client said the blue is cool. Of course, it's he asked if it was a little, if it can be a little darker, but we must remember we're going with a black to do some shading. Now we could do a darker blue and maybe not add shading because you won't see it as much because it's a darker blue. But that would be just too plain in my opinion. This way you'll have some shading, but then you'll have some light blues, also showing through. So that'll look a lot nicer. Whoops. Alright, so here we have the heads and the cape already painted, so let's start doing some black shading because this will actually be a little more darker and more black with blue than that light blue. Alright, so here I am blocking everything out with silly putty. So we can start painting the face. Okay, I'm going to start painting the face now. I'm not going to show the whole process because I already have a video on how to paint the face. So you can just look at that video. Okay, so I'm going to start with a little spatter. Can't really see it, but I'm using white right now. Again, I'll just do this, and you can go look at my other video that shows how I did this. I am adding more colors now than before, but the other way is still pretty good. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so here are the heads. Pretty cool. I love the skin tone. It's actually, you actually have 9 colors in that skin tone. A bunch of colors, 9 of them. So that really brings them to life. Okay, so I'm pushing the putty inside the gap as far as it goes. I'm going to do this all the way around, and then I'll smooth everything out. Primer, and start painting the gray. Shading later. Okay, so I sealed it with the matte finish. That's dry, so we don't want them that shiny, so let's add some dulling spray. Alright, so far here he is. Just need to do the bat symbol. It was going to be the black one, but it turns out that the client preferred the yellow and black logo, so that's what we would do. Alright, let's get an idea of how big the logo should be. I think it should be like around like that. Not too small, not too big. So let's say we have that. Alright, so I got 2 sizes here. Obviously this one seems a little bit too small, I think. Actually, it's not bad, but I think I'm going to go with a bigger one. Whoops. I'm going to go with a bigger one. And yes, it's one of those sliding decals, so let's put them in the water and see what happens. Alright, so here we go. Slide them off. Oops. I have these little lines from the printer, so I think what I'm going to do is probably go over it with some paint and make it look a little nicer. So there it is. Alright guys, so here he is. Fabric all gone. Got the Andy head on there. Now let's look at him with the Martin head. Alright guys, well, hope you enjoyed watching this process. Hope you learned something. And well, actually I like the Andy head better. So we'll see you next time.